Melbourne drug boss Tony Mokbel has begun serving a 30-year jail sentence. He pleaded guilty to running a complex drug ring.
But while many of the police who worked long and hard on the case have reason to celebrate, the officer who led the Purana Taskforce, which investigated Mokbel's crimes, says he hasn't forgotten the unseen victims of the drug trade. That's former officer is Jim O'Brien, and he joins us now in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here. Now, you came out quite quickly yesterday and said that you would have liked to have seen Tony Mokbel receive a life sentence.
Yes, I would have, but, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is, and the court makes that decision, not me, so I accept that.
Does this now rule a line under the so-called underbelly of Melbourne crime, do you think?
I don't think so. I think, look, organised crime is an ongoing problem and it needs to be addressed in an ongoing manner. And, you know, I think what Purana did show is what can be achieved with proper support, resourcing, financing and, you know, competent policing, and also, of course, the partner agencies that aided. It was a team effort, basically, that got the result. And that's the type of policing that succeeds in organised crime investigation.
Does this close a chapter for you?
Yeah, it certainly does. This is the end of the story of the line for me. I've retired and moved on to other things.
Just tell us about that story, because obviously this is many years in the making for you and you've finally achieved your goal, of course.
Well, I mean, I was in policing for 31 years and, you know, from 2001 onwards, basically my involvement was in relation to this particular matter, and Purana then, of course, from 2005 to 2007 to drive it forward. And
you led that group of officers to Greece and brought Tony Mokbel back. It's been a long time since 2007.
It certainly has. And look, that's the legal system, and working through all the appeal processes and other trials, it's taken that long to get to yesterday.
How would you characterise Tony Mokbel?
Oh, look, he's an affable character and all the rest of it, with a certain amount of charm about him, as most organised crime figures are. And but at the end of the day, it's what he does speaks louder than what he is and what his character's about. And as I say, the untold misery that he's caused to families and the youth of our communities throughout Victoria and also throughout Australia is his legacy.
And that's really ongoing, isn't it?
That is. It's an ongoing issue, and you know, it's a huge issue for the medical profession. It's a huge issue for government. It's a huge issue for funding, and you know, we should never forget the problems these people cause.
Do you think this sentence does send a message to crime figures?
Well, hopefully it does. I think the sentence was the top end of the sentence was certainly adequate, and certainly sees him put out of action for quite some time.
Do you worry that he might take up these activities upon his release? He'll be 67.
Well, you know, there's always a chance of that, but there's plenty of others that'll step up. There's succession planning in organised crime, and there's plenty of others that'll step up to fill the gap.
He obviously got done on the drug scene, but he beat murder rap. Is that a disappointment for you?
No, that's not a disappointment. I mean, that was part of the investigative processes. With all these matters, people are investigated for a wide range of offences, sometimes which they're not even charged. So it's a matter of a tactical response as to which way the prosecution put the case and resolve it in the end.
What do you make of the reports this morning that he was offered an even more lenient deal if he dobbed in associates?
Well, I don't think that's the case. The situation is, yes, it's a well-known fact that if people give assistance to police, they're entitled to a discount on their sentence. My view is he had nothing to offer.
How would you have described his demeanour in court yesterday?
Oh, I think it was fairly accepting of what his fate was. He's had plenty of time to consider it, and he was aware of the negotiations on sentence between the prosecution and the defence, which is a normal part of the process. So,
he certainly expressed regret, but not necessarily remorse.
I don't think he's shown any remorse at all. I mean, the only indication of remorse was to his in-jail counsellor or psychiatrist for a report. I haven't heard him say anything publicly.
Jim O'Brien, we thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.